You wake up, and the first thing you feel is the cold. It is the cold of a longhouse built from timber and turf on the edge of a Norwegian fjord where the wind comes off the water at night and finds every gap in every wall. You are a Viking. Not the Viking of Hollywood, not the horned helmet, the mindless violence, the cartoon savage. The actual human being wakes up in the dark, is cold, needs to feed the animals before anything else, and has approximately 17 things to do before the light comes up. In the year 900 AD, Scandinavia is producing the most remarkable and most misunderstood civilization in the medieval world. The Norse people are farmers and fishermen and craftsmen and traders and explorers and poets and occasionally, when the circumstances require it, raiders. The raiding is the smallest part of what they are. The raiding is the part that the people they raided wrote down, and the people they traded with mostly did not. They are not savages, they are not simple. They are not what you have been shown. This is one day in their world. And it begins, as all things in this world begin, with work. The Longhouse is the center of everything. It is not one building among many. It is the building. The central hearth runs the length of the building, a long fire rather than a single point of heat, and above it the smoke rises toward a narrow opening in the roof. The animals are at one end. This is not a failure of domestic organization. This is a deliberate and intelligent adaptation to a climate where keeping livestock alive through winter requires keeping them warm. Your family sleeps on raised platforms along the walls, built-in benches covered in furs and wool blankets, the family pressing together for warmth. The longhouse wakes before dawn because the animals require it. The Norse farm in 900 AD is a sophisticated operation. This morning, the work begins before the light. The cattle must be fed from the winter hay store, carefully rationed since midsummer. The goats need water. The horses need checking. The sheep huddled at the far end of the longhouse need moving to their morning position. By the time the sun appears above the fjord walls, and in winter it appears late and leaves early, the farm is already in full operation. The women of the household are weaving. The warp-weighted loom standing against the longhouse wall is not a hobby. It is an engine. The men are at the boats. The Norse relationship with the sea is unlike any other culture's relationship with any other geographical feature in the medieval world. Capable of navigating open ocean without instruments, using the sun and stars and the color of water and the behavior of birds. The longship is flexible, the hull designed to flex rather than resist the ocean's movement, surviving seas that would break a more rigid vessel. It is also beautiful. The Norse do not separate function from beauty. The carved prow, the painted shields along the gunwale, the striped sail, these are expressions of a culture that understands that the things you make reflect who you are. At midday, the community gathers at the thing. Every free man has the right to speak at the thing.
It binds us as one.
Every dispute is
Let
heard
all
in
men
public.
now agree.
Every decision is
This
made
is our
collectively.
rightful law.
The law, memorized and recited
So we
by
state
the
the
law
law
speaker,
for all free
is
men,
not written down because
that
writing
land
is
must be
not how
held,
this culture
and no man
stores its
shall
most
take what
important
is not his
knowledge.
own.
Today's thing is dealing with a boundary
field is mine
dispute
by
between
right.
two farmers whose
My father
boundary
graced it
stone has
first.
apparently moved.
This
In
land
Norse
belongs
culture,
to the
the
sons
ability
of my
to speak
father.
well is a
We have
marker
tilled
of
this
intelligence
soil
and
since the first
status.
ships came.
A
No
man
man
who
can
speaks
claim
badly
what
at the
the
thing
railroad has brought.
loses
I stand by
credibility,
the law and the
regardless
rings
of
of
whether
the
his
temple. Now
case is
judge my right.
just.
By
The law
of
speaker
the
listens.
assembly,
The
this
community
judgment is
listens.
bound.
The decision, when
Let
it
be
comes, is
standing
binding.
forever.
This is not a barbaric society. As the winter light fails, and it fails fast in Norway in winter, the darkness arriving in the afternoon, the longhouse fills again. The food that has been preparing since morning is ready. A thick stew of salt fish, dried meat, root vegetables, barley bread baked on a flat stone beside the fire. The mead is real, though. The act of sharing drink in Norse culture carries deep social and spiritual weight. After the meal, the stories begin. The sagas are the culture's memory. They carry the genealogies of families going back generations. They preserve the legal precedents that the law speaker will recite at the thing. The Skald is the one who remembers, the one who keeps the community's story alive in the darkness of the winter longhouse with nothing but words and the fire and the faces of the people listening. The children are the most attentive listeners. They are learning who they are. The Norse world that exists in 900 AD will not exist for long in the form that it has. Within 150 years, the old gods, Odin and Thor and Freya, will be officially replaced across most of Scandinavia. But in 900 AD, none of that has happened yet. The fire in the longhouse is burning, the Skald is speaking, the children are listening. The longship on the shore below the farm is ready for the spring, the season when the ice breaks and the sea opens and the Norse world expands outward in every direction.